Hi, everyone. Now we want to talk about continuity at a point. And when we're talking about continuity at a point, there are three different conditions that have to be met. So we say that f is continuous at x is equal to c. So at this point, for instance, x is equal to c, if and only if, right, these three conditions have to be met. So I'm actually going to change this if into the double f. This means if and only if. Okay. So if and only if these three conditions are met, first, we need to make sure that f at c exists, right? So if we look at this, if we look at this point over here, f at c, so the function itself, there has to be this has to exist. So f at c does exist. There is a point that exists at f at c. So because there is a y value for the c value at x is equal to c, then condition A is met. Then we look at condition B. So condition B says the limit has to exist. That means that if I'm approaching this point from the left side, from the left-hand side, and I approach it from the right-hand side, the limit exists, right? So as I approach C from the left-hand side and the right-hand side, the function goes to the same value, right? Because we have the left-hand side equal to the right-hand side. That means we have a general limit. Now, if it exists, so in this example, we see that exists. So if it exists, then two of my conditions for continuity have been met. So then we look at the third condition. Now, the third condition is saying that if I have the limit of f at x as x approaches c doesn't just have to exist, but it also has to be the same value as f at c. So let me show you an example. So if I had a function like this, right? And right over here, for instance, at c, we actually have a hole. Okay, so imagine this is c. This is x is equal to c. Now, we're saying that the limit exists, right? Now, we know that if we're looking at the limit is approaching from both sides. It's approaching this value, this unknown value over here, which we can label as, let's say over here on our y-axis, for instance. This is, I don't know, let's call it A, okay? So the limit exists and it's equal to A. So we would say over here, the limit as x approaches c of f at x, the function f at x is equal to A. All right, so we're saying that the limit exists and it's equal to A. So condition B is true, right? Left-hand limit is equal to right-hand limit. Now, what if I told you that there's a point, part of f at x, so let's make it actually blue, there's a point that exists and it exists right over here and it's equal to, let's say, b, all right? So this is the function. So I'm telling you that this point is part of the function and the function at c is equal to this point. We can see that the function at c is not a, right? Because that's a hole. But instead, it's actually this point b, this point with a y value of b. So we're saying that f at c is actually equal to b. So if we were to look at this and look at that last condition, well, the last condition says that the limit as x approaches c, so there you go, as x approaches c of f at x exists and it's equal to f at c. So f at c should be this point. Now we can see that in this instant over here, the limit is approaching the y value. Let's call this one let's call this one d, for instance. So it's approaching d, the limit is approaching d, but the function as well exists at d. So we're saying that f at c in this case is equal to d, right? It's this value, so it exists. So the function at c is equal to d, and the limit as x approaches c of the function f of x is equal to d as well. So looking at this condition over here and looking at the function up here, we can see that this one fulfills that last condition. but this one doesn't. And we can see that this one actually fulfills the first two, right? So the function exists at C, the limit exists at C, and then it's equal to A, but these two values are not equal. So that's why it doesn't fulfill this last condition. And remember, we said it's an if and only if condition where all three of these have to be true in order for it to be continuous. So we'd say that that this function over here is not continuous, but this function is. Okay? All right, everyone, I hope that helped, and I hope you understand a little bit more about continuity. This is a review, so I hope I'll see you in the next videos. Bye.